Hi and welcome to seekingchange.co.uk, another weekly insight. I was attending a fair at a couple of weeks ago in Lincolnshire, and I was talking to somebody there about how they see themselves and how they see the people around them and how they interact with people. And we had a conversation about valuing yourself, of which I've talked about on this role before. But they were looking at it from the point of view of their interaction with people around them and how they see themselves as giving in to other people's needs. So we were talking and discussing this, and I said that in the conversation that actually you're a nice person. With that, they broke down into tears, and they said after they got themselves sorted that nobody had ever said that to them. Nobody in their world had ever told them that they were a nice person. I said, well, in the reality of what you do and where you go and what you input into this world, this life, why is it you don't believe you're a nice person? What is it you do in this world for a living, for a job, in interaction with other people? And they were in a caring profession. I said, so in this caring profession, you look after people. You make sure people's needs are met. You put yourself out in order to make them happier or more comfortable. And they agreed they did this. I said, so would that not be something that a nice person would do? And after a while, and it did take a while of putting in place some different ways of looking at things, they could accept, tentatively, not fully, that they were a nice person. They didn't believe it yet, but they could accept that they could be seen as a nice person. I then asked them, okay, so would you like to change that perception of yourself? And they then said yes, they would. So I said, okay, what we need to do is we need to create some process, and I pointed in the direction of the power wall that I've done on here. And I also said maybe what we also need to do is reinforce this message that you're a nice person. So I gave them a mantra. A mantra, for those of you who haven't heard that term before, is just a repetitive process of a saying, a statement which is positive, that says you are something or you do something. And the mantra we discussed and we agreed was that every morning she would say 3 times to herself, I am a nice person. And every evening she would say to herself before she went to bed, I am a nice person. I said, you don't have to say that out loud, but you do have to say it in your head. And eventually what will happen is that you will believe that. You will change your cognitive function in your experience to say, yes, you are a nice person. And we had a dialogue about this. I said, okay, what do you think that's going to change in your world, in your life? And she said, well, maybe it will change how I interact with other people, because up until now, I always make myself less than others. And I said, possibly. I said, how do you do that? How do you make yourself less than? She said, well, I never put my needs first. I never give anybody my understanding what I need from them. And I said, so you promote other people's needs, but you don't promote your own. And she says, yes, that's true. I then said to her, well, if that's the case, then how do you accept compliments? How do you get gifts? How do you receive any kind of recognition? And she realised by talking to me that actually she stopped people giving her recognition or gifts or compliments by the way she talked to them. She would say things like, oh, don't worry about me, I'm okay, what do you need? And she would deflect from compliments or the possible compliments by putting in place other communication structures. She would deflect what they were talking about, or she would bring something else into the conversation, or she would distract their attention from what they were talking about. And that had been ingrained in her from a very young age, growing up in a process whereby she had not received any encouragement or any feedback of what she'd achieved or how she'd actually been a positive part of other people's worlds. Once the conversation had ended, she thanked me and went off to carry out a mantra, and hopefully in the course of the next couple of 3 weeks, maybe even a month, that drip effect of changing how she sees herself will make her more confident and build her self-esteem. If you feel that you would like to have a mantra, then just pick something that you would like to change about yourself and repeat it to yourself 3 times in the morning when you get up and 3 times in the evening before you go to bed. And that will help you to allow you to have the life you want, not the one other people think you should have. Take care and enjoy your life.